Looking for magic cards? At flipsidegaming.com you can now use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10 while supporting the channel at the same time. Let's jump into an Ixalan draft here. Alright, pack one, pick one. Open the best uncommon in the set in Ravenous Chupacabra, so it's probably going to be our pick. Our rare Paladin is decent, but not amazing. Legion Conquistador pretty strong if we can end up with a couple. Secrets is also part of kind of the Ascent Sailor of Means deck, which is pretty good. I do like me a Dusk Legion Zealot. Squire's Devotion's pretty decent, especially combined with a Hexproof Flyer. But we're just gonna take Chupacabra here any day of the week. Alright, this pack's not too exciting. It's mostly just a cancel. I do like me a Suncrested Pterodon. Black-White's not a bad archetype. Dinosaur Hunter's fine. Just having a 2-drop that can maybe trade for a larger dinosaur is not bad. Nothing really that stands out here. It's probably just going to be the Pterodon over the Dinosaur Hunter. Not an exciting second pick. Alright, can pretty easily take a Luminous Bonds now as a powerful removal spell. And then hope to wheel Squire's Devotion or Dusk Legion Zealots. There's also Sailor of Means, but not gonna take it over Luminous Bonds. Divine Verdict is not the best removal spell, but it is still removal. And there's nothing else really that we want. Taking a Secrets is a bit ambitious, so I guess we'll still take the Verdict. This doesn't strike me like a Pride of Conquerors deck, but it could still be okay. Ascent card in general are pretty decent. The alternative would probably be Vampire Revenant as kind of a flying win condition, although it doesn't line up all that well versus all the Suncrested Pterodons that people will play. I guess Pride of Conquerors has enough upside that we should try it. We might also end up in a Vampire deck that can go wide, and then Pride of Conquerors is pretty good. Both Dusk Legion Zealot and Recover are pretty decent. Recover with Chupacabra especially is pretty spicy. It's pretty close between the two. Of course, Recover is also good with Zealot itself. Do want to pick up some more cheap creatures. Are we more likely to get Dusk Legion Zealots or Recovers later? We did open a few packs with Dusk Legion Zealots that we might wheel. And I would rather have one of each. So I think I will take the Recover here. Now we can take a Dinosaur Hunter over Spirewinder, over Crashing Tide. I think that's okay if we can stick to 2 colors. It's probably better. And Hunter's a fine 2-drop. I'll happily take another Pterodon. Alright, we'll take our first Conquistador. So this was our first pack where we wheeled Conquistador, so we didn't pass up on any, as far as I know. And if we can pick up like 2 or 3, Conquistador becomes pretty nice. Not gonna play Scoundrel. Doubt we'll need a Cleansing Ray, but there's nothing else we want. Take an uncommon for the Vaults. Might need a Gleaming Barrier, you never know. Alright. So did not wheel any Dusk Legion Zealots sadly, but that's okay. Oh wow, second pack, open Hadana's Climb, one of the better rares you can hope for, but we're not especially in the right colors for it. What else do we have? Sky Marcher is pretty good, there's another Conquistador. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to justify taking Hadana's Climb when we're in black-white. Yeah, like if we had one color in common with Hadana's Climb, I would totally switch, but I think it's going to be a bit too difficult to do so now. So I think we do take Sky Marcher, hope to wheel Conquistador. There's a good chance we wheel Conquistador given that the first one wheeled, and I think Sky Marcher's enough better than the Conquistador even though we already have one. So I'd rather take the Flyer. And there's other good cards we could wheel here as well. Forsaken Sanctuary, Recover, another Dinosaur Hunter. Alright. Crested Herd Caller is pretty good too. But it's also going to be difficult to cast. So here it's probably between Squire's Devotion and another Recover. Do we want a Squire's Devotion? It's not bad with Suncrested Pterodons. Second Recover is also decent. But I guess we'll take a Devotion here. Alright, how many... Well, this is clearly an Impale pick. But just out of curiosity, how many Vampires do we have? 1, 2... The token from Squire's Devotion, so not too many. Alright, let's just take Impale and move on. I doubt we want Sanguine Glorifier in this deck. We could consider splashing something like Resplendent Griffin, but don't have any mana fixing yet. So our removal is looking pretty decent. We've got a Chupacabra, Impale, Verdict, Luminous Bonds. So we've got some decent removal in our deck. Just got to pick up some resilient win conditions. And I guess Suncrested Pterodon is not a bad one. Can take a Sky Marcher now, even if we have to pay 4 mana for a 2/2 flying lifelink, it's fine. And there's nothing else we want. Alright, so we can take our first piece of mana fixing in Evolving Wilds to maybe allow a splash. Otherwise we could take a Dinosaur Hunter or Revenant. I don't mind Evolving Wilds, it gives us more options if we open another bomb. If that's not in our colors, to maybe splash it. Like, Hunter's not bad. I wouldn't mind another one. But I could see a situation where we don't end up seeing any good finishers in black or white and need to go out of our way to splash. And then it's going to be pretty important that we have the Evolving Wilds. So I'll take it here. Alright, Mausoleum Harpy. 5 mana, 3/3 Flying Ascent. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a counter on it if you have the City's Blessing. So it's a pretty decent win condition. I think it's enough better than Pterodon that we should take it here. I guess we'll take a Companion in case we need more 2-drops. Could also take a Relic, ramping into our Pterodon, so a turn ahead of schedule is not bad. But we're kind of lacking in the 2-drop department, so I think we'll take a Companion, which is also Dinosaur for Pterodon, so it has a bit of synergy there. And now we can take another Dinosaur Hunter. Revenant is fine too. But I'm kind of liking the Hunter more. Alright, so now we can take... Did not wield the Conquistador sadly, but can take another Recover, Revenant or Sanctuary. All pretty reasonable. Taking a look at our curve. Probably don't want to play the barrier. So could use some more expensive finishers. Recover's not bad. Sanctuary is good fixing. So there's good arguments for either one here. Sanctuary also just makes it easier for us to maybe splash a third color in general, just by having more fixing. So if we do open a bomb, like let's say we open a Thundershoot Dryad, I guess that's not going to happen since we're going to open an Ixalan pack. I don't know, what's a good example of a bomb we could open in the third pack? There's definitely more bombs in Rivals than in normal Ixalan. Yeah, I guess a Watley Planeswalker we could splash, for example. Hostage Taker, that's a good one. Alright, gotta Recover anyway. Don't think we'll need Gruesome Fate. I'll take an uncommon for the vault. Yeah, Vraska is another good one. Canal Monitor is somewhat playable, but hopefully we don't have to. Dark Inquiry, also kind of a potential playable. Alright, what did we open? Nothing too exciting. Ruthless Knave is okay. Has a bit of synergy with our Mausoleum Harpy, I suppose. Dusk Legion Dreadnought is okay. Bishop Soldier's fine. Don't know if we want to costly Plunder. Did not end up with any Dusk Legion Zealots. Could see taking the Bishop Soldier, 2/2 lifelink's not bad. Ruthless Knave, do we have many treasure makers? I guess we don't. It's a lot better in blue-black, of course, where you have more treasures than in black-white. Dreadnoughts can be reasonable as well, especially if we had more Conquistadors. I think we'll take a Bishop Soldier and then hope to wield the Dreadnought. Alright, not much here either. Can take a Paladin, I suppose. Don't really want to splash for a Saboteur. All these packs have been pretty bad for us so far. Nothing really exciting here. Raptor Companion, Encampment Keeper. Not exactly what we want, but there's also nothing we want to go out of our way for to splash. I guess Keeper could be better than Companion. It's not like we have a super go-wide deck, but we'll diversify a little bit. Yeah, still nothing too exciting here. Legion's Judgment's kind of a conditional removal spell. Sometimes you'll main deck it. Don't really want to main deck Duress. Alright, we'll take a Judgment. This is the same pack we opened, basically. Ruthless Knave Dreadnought. I guess now we can take the Dreadnought. Could use some more beef. Alright, Shining Aerosaur at least is something. And now we can take a Deadeye Tormentor. Blightkeeper, I guess. Alright, well, definitely not the third pack we were hoping for. Could see playing a Queen's Agent as a Curve Topper. So yeah, our deck has reasonable removal, but our only win conditions are some of these 5-mana flyers. So we'll see how this goes. But we're definitely lacking in the bomb department. Alright. Yeah, the best card we got out of the last pack was probably Shining Aerosaur, which probably is not a good sign. Not sure if we want the Pride of Conquerors, but it could be an okay way to break a board stall. Did not get her on Legion Conquistador, sadly. But happy we took the Sky Marcher over the second copy. Not sure about the Legion's Judgment. Recover looks decent. All the flyers are going to be necessary. Dreadnought's cuttable. Probably don't need both Queen's Agents. And these 1-drops also aren't too exciting. But I guess Blindkeeper's a reasonable raid enabler for Tormentor. But that's about it. So what are we cutting here? We might just need Pride of Conquerors as a finisher. So I'll probably keep that. Legion's Judgment seems cuttable. We've got some decent removal already. With Luminous Bonds, Impale, Divine Verdict, Chupacabra. And usually the good decks don't have a ton of targets for Legion's Judgment. And then, I don't know if we want to play Evolving Wilds, it's probably fine. Having 2 tapped dual lands in a deck where we need to cast Sky Marcher and Chupacabra and Impale is probably acceptable. And the deck thinning, I guess, is also worth a little bit. We're gonna keep the Dusk Legion Dreadnoughts. And then Blightkeeper gets to stay. And Queen's Agent gets to stay. So I'll end up cutting the Judgment and the Keeper. Alright, seems fine. And then our mana base, pretty evenly split between both colors. 11-11. I guess we'll favor black since we have Chupacabra and Impale. And then we'll play a Sanctuary and Evolving Wilds as well. I'm just gonna leave the deck unnamed. Alright, hand looks fine. Even have a Queen's Agent we can reveal to our Sky Marcher. Opponent with a pretty aggressive start. We're missing double black for Impale at the moment. We could decide to trade off Sky Marcher for Hoarder and then recover it. Ooh, Curious Obsession. Well, I really want to draw a second black source now. I guess what we could also do is take it, and then if we fail to draw a second black source, we can Squire's Devotion and try and double block the Fathom Fleet border. Even though that's not super likely to work. Yeah, this is not gonna be pretty. But can't let them draw infinite. If our opponent has their own removal spell, we're in trouble. They could have any number of bounce spells. Moment of Craving. Alright, come on, black mana. Alright. I think we kill it here. We could try and play blocker. I think that's a little bit too risky. Hope they don't have a counterspell. Ouch. Well, got punished pretty badly there. Maybe playing the creature would have worked. Now we're probably dead. More likely that they had something like a Hornswoggle than a negate. Alright, that'll do it. Need a Chupacabra off the top. And now it's not even good enough. And a Miscloaked Herald to go with the Curious Obsession. Alright, well, not much we could have done here. Alright, not an exciting hand. We are on the play, would have rather been on the draw with this hand to try and hit our land drops. But I don't think we can mulligan a hand with 2 Swamps and a Chupacabra. And a Recover to get it back. If we fail to hit our land drops, we'll be in trouble. Alright, Companion's not the 2-drop we wanted to face, but I guess now we can trade. Alright, it's unfortunate. So hoping to hit our 4th land drop so we can maybe kill the Sky Marcher. Not sure why they traded, maybe they have their own Recover. Glorifier. Fair enough. Well, this is awkward. I guess we'll recover to try and find lands. Alright, so next turn we will be able to Chupacabra. Was hoping to keep the recover to get back Chupacabra at some point, but I guess we don't quite have to chum block. Can try and double block the Glorifier with Chupacabra and Blightkeeper next turn. Or we can just trade Chupacabra for Hunter. It's a little bit safer, but I think this is fine. Don't have a target for Squire's Devotion, sadly. Can cast a Divine Verdict, although we don't really want to verdict any of the 2-drops here. Alright. We managed to draw all the 5-drops in our deck, pretty much. I mean, we could Divine Verdict. Yeah, we probably should. Because the Dinosaur Hunter can still attack into our Pterodon and Aerosaur. Especially if we draw a Swamp here. Alright. Hunter can trade for Sentinel. Alright. Come on, untap lands. How about an Impale instead? Yeah, I don't really want to use Impale on these creatures, but we might have to. Which one's more problematic? Probably the Interloper. On the bright side, our opponents could flood out, and then once we do find our lands, we'll be fine. But we don't have infinite time. Punished for the tap lands. Don't think we're desperate enough where we want to Squire's Devotion the opponent's creature to get a 1/1 vampire token. We should be dead now. Because even if we play Queen's Agent, they can just attack with the 2 flyers. If we play a single flyer, we're still dead on board. So we just have to hope that our opponent makes a mistake somehow. I guess never mind. We can play Sky Marcher and then Squire's Devotion it. That could work. But we're probably dead to removal spell here. Alright, so far so good. So let's see what happens if we play flyer, opponent finds removal for Sky Marcher. Then we can block, and we're still dead. So I guess we'll play the Queen's Agent instead of an extra flyer for the moment. Paladin seems okay. Better than a land. I guess our opponent could have had something like a Legion's Judgment in their hand. I think now playing a flyer makes more sense since we've got the Queen's Agent to shore up the ground. That way we can potentially survive a removal spell on the Sky Marcher. And I guess we'll play the Pterodon first. It's pretty miraculous that we're still alive. We will play Aerosaur and then I think we're fine to... I mean, attacking with Pterodon doesn't accomplish a whole lot, I suppose. Opponent can just block with the Sky Marcher. So there's no great reason to go for it, unless we attack with the Sky Marcher as well, so they can double block it. And we do want to start attacking at some point. We've exhausted most of our removal spells. Problem is, if our opponent has a Divine Verdict, they can kill Sky Marcher and we won't gain any life. But I guess it's okay. Alright, never mind. Got a nice little lifelink hit in. Can just block one dinosaur hunter. Don't want to block with our dinosaurs. Could chum block with a vampire token, but this seems relatively safe. Could be a moment of craving, although... Alright, makes sense. There, Fleet Poisoner. Still get to gain 4 and trade. Let's keep attacking with our flyers. They could of course at any moment double block. Could also attack with the Shining Aerosaur, I suppose. Yeah, why not? Alright, opponent down to 10. Can empty your hand here. Don't have a ton of great top decks left. We've played most of our expensive cards. I think we've got 1 recover left to maybe get back Chupacabra an additional time. Alright. I mean... I guess we'll block with the Pterodon. Could also just take it. Kind of a strange attack. If it had a Cellar Wreckage, they probably would have cast it last turn. Don't think we can play around it. Opponent's down to 2. Well, from the brink of death. We'll crew the Dusk Legion Dreadnought here. And our opponent has seen enough. Sweet. Well, that was a close one. Alright, on the play. Missing our 3rd land, but our hand's pretty good if we do find a 3rd land. So we'll try. Don't know if we want to go ham with Squire's Devotion right away. Doesn't look bad here though. Yeah, let's go for it. Could also Luminous Bonds of Vanguard, but can block it next turn with the Pterodon. Hope to dodge an Impale Glorifier. Still okay. Think we're still playing Pterodon. Can block the Adanto Vanguard. And now we can save our Luminous Bonds for maybe a flyer. Alright, another Glorifier. So now the Luminous Bonds on Vanguard is looking good. And Pterodon can block Glorifier. Don't think we're chumping with the Vampire token here. Can take 5. Could even double block the Glorifier if we wanted to. Alright, let's get in there with flyers. Question is, do we attack with the Pterodon or keep it back to block the 3/3s? Might want to keep it back. But I will attack with Sky Marcher. And then we should probably consider keeping a land in hand in case of discard. Aerosaur. Alright. That's why we wanted to save the Luminous Bonds for the flyer, but... Could have a Skullduggery, which would be pretty bad for us. Alright. That works. Impale is great. So now I don't mind erasing. Could also play the Harpy. But yeah, let's just kill this. And I'm okay trading 2 damage for 3 damage, considering we're gaining 3 life. Don't quite have lethal here, but if they don't have some removal soon, they'll be in trouble. Plunder getting a bit of value there. Vampire Revenant. Not the best blocker here. Alright, let's get in there. And our opponent packs it in. Sweet. Alright. Hand looks good. Blue-red. Sworn Guardian. Alright. Not the most exciting card. We'll take 1. Headstrong Brute. Could be worthy of a Luminous Bonds. Yeah, I guess that's fine. If we don't want to use Chupacabra next turn, we can just play a Paladin instead. Yeah, sure. The menace on the Brute makes it a little awkward to try and double block with the Paladin and the token. Don't want to fall too far behind. Alright, there's nothing I really want to Chupacabra, so I'll just play a Paladin for now. Also helps us with Ascend for Harpy. Ooh, nice. Opponent flickering their Headstrong Brute. So they got a nice bit of value from their Siren's Roost there. Alright, we'll try and double block the Brute. And then Chupacabra the Sprinter. Seems okay. Chupacabra can trade for Raptor, and then we can take to the skies with Harpy. Dreadnought could also come in handy. Alright, let's see what they have. Nothing. Just attack for 4 and play Arrow Sword then. Do I think they'll ever introduce premium cards? Yeah, they might definitely introduce some sort of cosmetics or alternate arts at some point. There was a nice turn for them, cancel or flyer and then bounce or Harpy. Although Tormentor getting their last card is pretty nice too. Blind Keeper to enable Raid. And then we can trade Tormentor for Hauler. Alright, just a land. Alright, Sure Strike, that's fine. Recover on Chupacabra is looking pretty nice. If we draw land, we can play the Chupacabra right away. If we don't, then we'll have to wait a turn. Alternatively, we can just play the Harpy for now. Yeah, let's try it. Perfect. And Chupacabra also good at crewing our Dreadnought. So could also see playing the Dreadnought before the Harpy. Nah, let's play the Harpy first. Alright, got the City's Blessing, so now Pride of Conquerors is also live. Don't think we want to use it quite yet. But could be a good finisher. So what happens if we attack with everyone? Point's gonna block Chupacabra. Can get in for 8 damage. So probably want to wait until next turn. Just attack with our flyers for now. There's also Blightkeeper we can sacrifice at some point. Alright. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, Impale plus Pride might have been lethal, but there's no reason to go for it there. We don't want to spew or Impale on a 1-3 when we probably kill them in 2 turns, and you never know what their last card might be. Of course, if they have nothing, then it's safe to go for it, but no real reason to go for it there. What do I think will come first? Card sleeves, foil cards, animated cards, full art lands, or playmat background stuff? Interesting question. Could see either one of those being first. Like, they've already shown that they can easily implement special card backs since they've done so for the several events. So I imagine those will be one of the first ones they'll try out. Look at our nice aggressive start. Turn 1 Blightkeeper, turn 2. Alright. I guess your opponent kept a no-lander and scryed to the bottom and then failed to draw land. Sure. I'll take it. Sailor of Means could be a thing. So playing Bishop Soldier can at least gain us 2 life in the face of a Sailor of Means. But if they have nothing... Alright, perfect. Luminous Bonds on our Raptor Companion. Don't mind seeing that. We are missing our land drops, sadly, but we've got some stuff to do in the meantime. Sky Marcher. I'll happily trade. So 3rd land gives us maybe Squire's Devotion on Hunter. Keeps the card on top. Alright. Let's go for it. Now we might even want to consider keeping back the Bishop Soldier, since our opponent's more incentivized to trade for it, since we got the 1/1 Vampire. But we've got the Recover we can cast next turn, so I think we're fine trading. Why not enchant a Lifelinker, because this gives lifelink, so I would rather have 2 Lifelinkers than just 1. That's fine. They could have eaten the Bishop Soldier, but decided to actually trade for the Dinosaur Hunter. Maybe implies they have a dinosaur they want to protect. Let's get in there. Divine Verdict. Alright, opponents using all their removal on our cheap creatures here, which is not a bad thing for us. Let's recover. Think we'll get back Bishop Soldier, although if our opponent plays a Suncrested Pterodon, we'll rather have the Dinosaur Hunter. We already have 28 life. Yeah, let's get the Hunter. Sailor of Means. Our life linker would have lined up a bit better there, but that's okay. Can just play a Blind Keeper and Hunter. And then Dreadnought is looking decent as well. How does defending work with a crew minion? How do you mean exactly? You can block with a creature and then still crew a vehicle, but of course then the vehicle is unable to block, so it's either one or the other. Queen's Commission, that's okay. Alright, let's get in there with a Blind Keeper. Kinda wanna hit our land drops here. Could keep up Pride of Conquerors, nothing we wanna impale. So the plays either do nothing or recover. Might be correct to do nothing here, since I would rather keep recover for something more impactful. But if we keep missing our land drops, then that could be bad. Slippery Scoundrel with the City's Blessing, so unable to impale it. So we are under quite a bit of pressure now. Alright, more 5-drops. Not exactly where we want to be. Alright, I guess we'll pull the trigger now. Alright. So in the end, had we recovered last turn, I guess we would have been able to play a 5-drop this turn instead. And now the question is, do we want to play a Dreadnought or do we want to play a Flyer? Bright Reprisal. Could Divine Verdict our own creature to deny them the card draw, but I don't think that's worth it. I guess we could have considered playing the Harpy first, but just in case they had some sort of 3/3 flash flyer, yeah, let's play the Harpy now. Yeah, Bright Reprisal is also one of those cards that if you're playing a bust of 3 would become a lot worse, since your opponent can pretty easily play around it. It's kind of like a even clunkier Divine Verdict. Alright, opponent with kind of an unblockable theme here. So probably just gonna play another 5-drop. Harpy can attack. Do we Dreadnought or do we Pterodon? Probably Pterodon. Dreadnought doesn't have any great attacks anymore because of the Everdawn champion. Could of course kill it. It's close. I think I'm gonna go with the Flyer though. Snubhorn. That's okay. We will block the champion. Yeah, Curious Obsession would be bad. But we've got a bit of life to work with, thanks to all the life linkers we had early. And they are down to 12. And still got a pretty stacked hand. 3 removal spells. And a Pride of Conquerors as a finisher. Alright, Hunt a week to finish off Pterodon. It's pretty good. Does grow the Harpy. Is it time for Dreadnoughts? Or Sky Marcher, so we can hit them for 4 down to 8. And then next turn we can set up lethal with Pride of Conquerors if we play the Sky Marcher. So I think we'll play Sky Marcher. We also get to keep up Pride of Conquerors for what it's worth. Did not expect to see a splashed Hunt a week, but I guess they were struggling for removal spells. Legion's Judgment, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that'll work. So now we're pretty far from having lethal in the skies. So just the unblockables attacking. Everdon we can block with the Sky Marcher. Snubhorn we could double block. Could also do a defensive Pride of Conquerors, don't think that's worth it. Could also take it all and then try and attack back with Pride of Conquerors. How do the blocks look like? Alright. So we could Luminous Bonds, Sailor of Means, attack with everyone. How's our opponent block? Probably double blocks a 2-2, so we would have lethal. If they don't double block a 2-2, then it gets a bit more complicated. Seems worth it though. Alright, the double chumps instead, fair enough. Yeah, that does mess with our plan. So I think we'll just hit them for 3. Alternatively, we could Pride and then hit them for 7. They'll go up to 3. And then we still don't have lethal next turn with the Sky Marcher, so I think this is fine. We also gain a bit of life, so they lost quite a bit of their board. But they are fully aware that we have a Pride of Conquerors in hand now. Alright, so we'll attack and then play an Aerosaur. And then they're dead next turn. Can beat any flyer they play. Except for the hexproof one, I guess. Shard of course. There's a green mana. Another Hunt a week. Looks like it. Crushing Canopy instead, fair enough. So do we have lethal if we attack with everyone? They've got 3 or 2 blockers. Block, block. So they should be dead here. They don't get any life. Alright, let's go for it. Alright. And got there in the end. This Blind Keepers, been putting in some work. Alright. Up against the Merfolk. Don't have a Vampire to reveal, sadly. So we'll just have to play Tormentor for now. Ooh. Deeproot Elite. We might wanna Chupacabra that before it gets out of hand. Don't hit it. Presumably our opponent has a synergistic Merfolk deck where their Deep-Root Elite is strong. But could also make an argument for just playing a Sky Marcher there. And a triple Jade Bearer. Well, this Deep-Root Elite would have been quite strong. Alright. Got a full playset over there. Sure, I'll trade. Man, I'm sure glad we used our Chupacabra there. And Jade Guardian. Alright, let's hope to dodge an enchantment on the Jade Guardian, but the fact that they put the counter on the Jade Bearer kind of implies that they're not gonna try and go all in with Jade Guardian and one with the wind. But we can just attack with our flyers here. Play a 4-mana Sky Marcher. And we've got them in under a 2-turn clock with 5 power in the skies. Happy to trade Tormentor for Jade Guardian. Recover on Chupacabra is pretty nice as well. Could also Tormentor their last card, but this seems better. And that's why we kind of put a high emphasis on taking recovers when we started our draft with Chupacabra. Hand looks good. Get to start with Blind Keeper once again. Nice 1, 2, 3, 4 curve. Could block. Opponents maybe just wanted to enable a raid, but if they're giving this Death Touch, then they can only play a 2-drop. Seems fine. Discards a Hoarder. Headstrong Brutes. Can block, has Menace with another Pirate. We're fine to attack here. Well, our curve continues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm fine drawing more removal spells, more 5-drops. Chupacabra, pretty high up on our list. Yeah, I think we'll take it. Recover's not bad. Sky Marcher. Can block our Blind Keeper. And now attacking with the Pterodon doesn't accomplish a whole lot. If we had double white, Sky Marcher would have been a nice one, since then we could attack with Pterodon, leave Sky Marcher back. Alright, so we're probably just attacking with the Paladin, fine trading it for every creature they have. I would rather recover the Paladin. Alright, it's a fine trade. Still a chance we draw into a Plains here. Alright, perfect. Barrage is pretty strong. So for 5 mana they can return it if they enabled raid. So we want to make it as difficult as possible for them to attack. And just playing a paladin will accomplish that for the most part. So I think we're fine to attack with our flyer still. Could have considered playing out our land if we wanted to sacrifice Blightkeeper next turn. Maybe should have done so. I'll definitely play the tap land. Could consider keeping back Pterodon to have a better block on the Tilonali's Knight. So we'll see. Yeah, I think we're double blocking. And then we might as well block with an extra vampire to gain an extra life. They would have had to top deck a combat trick this turn. Alright, they did top deck a Moment of Craving. It's unfortunate. But now they're not holding a Moment of Craving for one of our flyers. I think we're attacking for 3, playing Sky Marcher. And then next turn we probably have lethal. Could have played the land there to play around an opponent having a Tormentor. Alright, and that'll do it. So I had a pretty rough start, but then things corrected themselves along the way. Let's crack some packs. Ooh, didn't have Captain Lannery yet. It's pretty refreshing to open packs where we don't have the set completed yet. Nice. Banned in pretty much every format, but can still open it in packs. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for being part of the channel, and you can become a patron yourself today and decide the topic of future videos over at patreon.com/LegenVD.